The field of selling has really become, I would say, more and more difficult in recent years. When we think about selling, so often when we're prospecting, just getting a hold of somebody, making 100 phone calls to hopefully talk to 4 people and leaving all those voicemails, and really sometimes tricking ourselves into thinking they're actually going to call us back in a first phone call. Nothing could be further from the truth. But one of the things that I've noticed from many organizations, and ours included, we end up chasing people, don't we? We leave a message, or we're going to talk at a certain time, and they don't show up for the conference call. Or whatever the case might be, what do? We chase them. We chase people all the time. We give a proposal only to wait weeks after the commitment of when they were going to get back to us. So what the heck can we do about it? I think we have to do something that is called a psychological disrupt. And I share this all the time with clients. We do a dance. When we call somebody and we say, we sell coaching services, do you have a few minutes to chat? What do they say? They say, we're already working with somebody. And what they're really saying in their heart is, I'd like to get rid of you. Let's end the phone call. But we have to disrupt that pattern because there's a dance. We sell, they object. We sell, they object. So what we have to do is interrupt that thought pattern. Let me share a little bit of some of my humor with you. When people call me, one of the things that I hate when people are cold calling me, especially at my home, is they have this really cool technique where they say, Tim? And then I say, yeah? Now they know it's me. It's their trick of disallowing me from screening the phone call. Quite frankly, it's effective. And they'll say, how you doing today? Like they really care. They don't know me. And that just, for whatever reason, it just rubs me the wrong way. So here's a little humor for you. When they say, how are you doing? I'll say, well, not so good. I'm right in the middle of a sit-up. I started this one yesterday. My back went out. I haven't been able to move. My family's out of town. If you hear a siren in the background, that's an ambulance coming to get to me because I finally got to the phone. But what can I do for you? Gosh, I hope you're laughing. I literally do that. And all of a sudden they're stalled. What have I done? I've disrupted them. Now, maybe I'm not the friendliest guy in the world, but I hate that cheesy, I pretend to know you and you're my buddy. How you doing today? I hate that. Now that's just me. Maybe that works for you. But the fact of the matter is, I disrupt them. So now what can we do similar as a salesperson? Well, we have to quit being like everybody else. And how do we go about doing that? How do we differentiate ourselves? Well, first, people, when we hear the term gatekeeper, it's almost like this evil empire. They're there for a reason. But get to know their name. Ask them for advice. Use something that they're not used to, such as, you know what, Joanne, I know a lot of people must call Bill. The last thing I want to do is put you in a precarious position. But if you could advise me the best way to get a hold of him, what would that be? Send her a card saying thank you for the advice. People love to give advice. Second thing, put a card in the mail. Say, Bill, by the way, I'm aware of your company. I think we might have an opportunity to help your company in a couple different areas. Remember the WIFT, what's in it for them, not just the appointment. They don't want an appointment with you. People don't want to talk about coaching. So when I call somebody, they don't want to talk about an appointment of coaching. What they want to talk about is, can we reduce our turnover? Can this help us recruit more people? What's the WIFT? What's in it for them? But when you send a card saying, I will call at 12:20 next Thursday, and I promise to have about a 14-minute conversation with you, that will be worth your while. At the end of that 14 minutes, if it's not, just hang up the phone. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if they don't answer? You still leave that voicemail. Bill, I sent you a card. I said I was going to call at 12:20. I missed you. I'd love to have you give me a call back. I've got a phenomenal idea for your company based on what I know. 3, get some large envelopes. 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17. Get some large envelopes. I had a customer do this once, and I love this. What they do is they take these mats and they take an article in the news and they put it on a cardboard mat and they put it in these large envelopes, assuming the article is, on one page, and they write a handwritten note saying, I've read the article. First of all, congratulations on the press, but I've got an idea based on something I've learned in this article. It piques a little curiosity. You've got a large envelope on your desk. Aren't you going to open that first out of curiosity? What a great idea. Let me give you another one. My dad told me years ago of one that somebody was interviewing for an art director position as he was in running an advertising firm. And this guy did something really bold, and my dad, 30 years later, still recognized it. The guy sent his resume in a large tube and put a jelly bean inside. Then had his resume rolled up with a note saying, now that I've saved you all that time from reading all those resumes underneath this canister, this tube, it's time to hire me. My dad loved that idea because it's for a creative art director position. You've got to be creative. And the guy knew that the tube's going to go on top. It's not going to fit right in the middle of the rest of the resumes. What a brilliant way to interrupt that process. What was he selling? Himself. And when you put things down like, I've got an idea for you, and you tease with a little curiosity, they become a little bit more receptive. Here at Progress Coaching, we actually have cards made with the cover of the card, like a thank you card, but the cover says, I've got an idea for you. So when I read about a company that is growing and expanding, I send a card about how coaching can help recruit talent. Or if I see a company that's having some problems with retention and they need to hire more people, and I hear that there's some turnover challenges, I'll send a card and I'll write in something germane to what I know. But the card has a title, I got an idea for you, and I print them at Vistaprint. Now, some of you are going to think I'm nuts, and some of you who know me know that I've actually done this when I've done coaching sessions, but I just did this. I left a message. It was a referral, to be upfront, and I left the message and I said, Bob, my good friend Dave said that I ought to get a hold of you. And I said, I've got a couple ideas for your company that I think would be quite good. By the way, Bob, I'm not Irish. I don't know what you think of my Irish accent. And the gentleman called me back and goes, that was hilarious. I was like, who is this? What did I do? I disrupted. I did something he wasn't expecting. Now, we can do this to a point of ad nauseum. We can do it to a point of, okay, where do I get all these ideas? But what we have to realize is we got to quit being like everyone else. Now, let me see if this resonates like everybody else. Hi, Bob. This is Tim from Progress Coaching. I just wanted to introduce myself. Guess what he just did? He just deleted my voicemail. He doesn't know me. Or if I have an appointment with somebody, what do? Hi, Bob, this is Tim. I'm just checking in on the proposal I sent you. I mean, we're all guilty of that, right? What can you do to disrupt the pattern to get engagement with your prospects and customers? Now, I love this concept of rules of engagement. We actually teach it in our coaching program. But what I do with customers is I'll say, look, this has been a great meeting. I really appreciate it. I've got kind of a weird question for you. And people say, well, what is it? And I say, you know what? I'd like to level the playing field if that would be okay. And people will have no clue. Now, this is a little bit of a deviation of something I've taught in the past, and that is, what's the best way for us to communicate together? It accomplishes the same thing. I'll say, we are so busy right now that the last thing I want to do is chase you. I would probably assume you don't want me chasing and leaving 13 voicemails by next Tuesday, correct? And people laugh a little bit. And I will literally ask our customers, so what's a reasonable time frame that you can get back to me? And if you could coach me, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, when I don't hear back from you, what's the time distance I should just close the file? I guarantee you get it every time. What do you mean close the file? Well, stop chasing you, stop selling you. I've got enough prospects in my pipeline. I've got enough going on. I know this comes off the wrong way, but I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time, and certainly that I'm not chasing something that isn't viable for both of us. And I say it with great respect, but I'd rather have you make the decision. So if I don't hear from you for 3 weeks, is that a reasonable time frame to close the file, or whatever is germane to your business? And what this does is it creates the perception, and hopefully it's more than perception in your case, it creates the perception of demand. it levels the playing field. But when you get a customer and you've had this engagement, you have this rule of engagement. You avoid the chase. You make them an active participant in creating the rules together. Hope this has helped.